Hey there! It's been a while since we took a good look at that impressive altcoin market cap. Remember our aim was around the 500 billion mark? Guess what? We've practically hit that mark this month, so I thought it'd be cool to catch up, especially with some intriguing things shaping up as we head into early 2024. It's funny how even discussing altcoins can make a day less dull, right? Now before we dive in, let me ask you, do you celebrate Christmas? I find it fascinating that in Finland, they celebrate on the 24th, which is quite different from what many are used to. Anyway, let's get into it. Firstly, let's talk about a project we're invested in. They've got a promising setup that, with a bit of patience and discretion, could offer a better entry than what their algorithm suggests. This strategy seems to be playing out gradually, especially with Link, which I find intriguing than some other recent topics. Now, why am I discussing all of this? Well, this particular project plans to pause their minting after the next 50 NFTs. They're shifting their focus to Q1 developments, primarily concentrating on developed beta short alerts. If you're keen on accessing their services without the hassle of monthly fees, considering their NFT might be a wise move. Plus, they'll be posting their setups freshly in their Discord. Now moving on to the altcoin market cap, we were eyeing that 500 billion target, and we were pretty close, hitting around 498 billion. However, let's not get too hung up on precise numbers. The bigger picture here is looking quite interesting on higher timeframes. We are witnessing a potential reversal on the weekly charts, showcasing higher highs and higher lows, a classic indicator of a shift in trend. Sure, there might be pullbacks along the way, especially considering we're discussing longer-term projections. This aspect sometimes leads to misunderstandings in our analysis. Some folks get really wound up if things don't align precisely with daily happenings. But hey, this is all about longer-term trends. So, even if there's a dip from this region we're hovering around now, the broader outlook suggests this momentum might continue deep into 2024. It's important to keep an eye on those fluctuations, but the overall trend seems quite promising. Let's dive into the market analysis piece by piece. When we talk about seeing weekly closures above 500 billion, it's a key threshold for us. If that happens, you can anticipate a substantial rally, potentially around 50% retracement. That seems quite plausible by the end of the first quarter in 2024. However, we reckon it might take some time, with a bit of consolidation in this area before that major rally. But that's the big move to watch for next. Now, zooming out to the monthly view, there are some intriguing trends to note. There's a pattern that reminds me of a reversal we saw back in 2019. It's not an exact double bottom, but there are similarities, especially with the relationship between certain moving averages. For instance, the crossing of the 9 exponential and the 21 moving averages has historically propelled significant market runs similar to what occurred up until the highs of 2021. Now, looking at the present scenario, we're not quite seeing that crossover yet, but it seems imminent. Possibly around January or February, given the current trajectory. The monthly RSI is showing hidden bullish divergence, returning to a bullish control zone after quite some time. Additionally, indicators like the monthly jewel and the volatility measures are suggesting that the market's barely started its movement. This low volatility on a monthly basis is akin to what we observed back in 2022, which preceded a significant downside move. The volatility indicator, HPDRB's moving average, is starting to rise, indicating the potential for a long-term trend in motion. These indicators hint that this upswing might just be the tip of the iceberg, similar to what we experienced before in previous market cycles. So, what does this mean for altcoins? Well, if you're invested in fundamentally strong ones and have done your due diligence, it's likely they'll perform well over the next year, not on a day-to-day basis but on a higher time frame closing basis throughout the year. Of course, this is not financial advice, it's more of an observation based on chart analysis. Shifting gears to Bitcoin, there was a recent 12-hour setup that indicated a potential upward movement. It did play out for a bit, but it seems to have run its course now. That's something to file away as we await the next signal for Bitcoin's short-term movement. The big takeaway here is that the market seems primed for some significant moves over the next couple of years. If historical patterns repeat themselves, we might be in for a long and fruitful ride, especially for well-selected altcoins. But as always, it's essential to keep a close eye on these indicators and stay informed about the market dynamics. Now we want to share some insights today about Bitcoin's current status and where it might head in the near future. With the way things are shaping up, it seems like Bitcoin might maintain a sideways trend, especially during the holiday season. If we look at the daily HPDRV bands, which are among my favorite indicators, we can observe that the median is shifted down to around 42,500, slightly below that at 42,400. This shift, coupled with Bitcoin facing resistance above $44,000, leads us to believe that a short-term test back to those levels is quite likely. While I do believe Bitcoin has potential for higher movement in the longer term, perhaps toward the mid to high $48,000, the short-term momentum seems to be calming down. Although higher time frames indicate a positive trend, suggesting potential higher movements before a significant correction, the immediate outlook suggests Bitcoin might trade sideways over the next few days. It's crucial to note that any potential breakout would require increased volatility and observable movement in the HPDRV. Even though a correction back to $43,000 or $42,500 wouldn't be surprising considering the current range-bound nature, it doesn't seem like Bitcoin is gearing up for a breakout just yet though. True breakout signs would involve a notable surge in volatility and a clear shift in the HPDRV's moving average. Now, until these indicators show significant movement, we anticipate Bitcoin continuing to trade sideways, possibly until early next week. And then, looking ahead, we still maintain a bias toward a potential upward move in the coming months. However, in the first quarter, possibly around late January or toward the end of the first quarter, we foresee a significant correction of around 25% to 40%. The extent of this correction will depend on how high Bitcoin climbs before showing signs of a downturn. Now, regarding this specific topic, we plan to upload another video discussing potential scenarios and preparations needed as we approach the new year. Given the holiday season, we'll aim for a time when most viewers are likely to catch it. Stay tuned for that, and in the meantime, we wish you all the best. Take care, sending lots of love, and we hope to catch up with you sometime again soon. Thank you.